Welcome into Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling, babies! The only podcast on the Marshland Media Network Empire conglomeration that goes into detail by detail, slap by slap, and rock by rock moment of El Rey Network's Lucha Underground. I'm one of your hosts, and my name is Sean. Hi.
Ooh, and I'm the other host. It's James. Also, this is the only podcast on the Marshland Media Podcast Network that could actively help you earn money, baby.
Now that's shocking to me because I haven't seen a dime from this podcast.
Okay, well, you're not doing the things that I'm telling, or you are telling our audience about, that you are leaving money on the table, okay?
What is this money that is upon the table? And to be fair, I left it there because I wanted to. And I don't think you trusted my self-righteous anyway.
That's probably Sum 41.
It
You
was
wanted
a
to?
System of a Down.
Oh, okay, they're the same band. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness. Too many things. What is this money, James? Tell us about it.
You could say, oh, maybe I'll start a more successful podcast about wrestling and I have a jumping off point. Maybe you're like, oh, I see a market for juggalos with my own content. Let me market to them. Whoa, they buy physical media? I'm saved financially.
Awesome. Should we transition this podcast back into a Juggalo podcast?
No, we just start saying, hey guys, the Dominator, when it starts smushing, it plays chicken hunting.
The Juggalator. Shit, we call it the Juggalator.
Ooh, and you start throwing Juffa-hos in there.
I can feel being more on board with this terrible, horrible dog abuse idea just based on it's like, you know what? But it plays chicken hunting?
And we put one in every Super 8 hotel in Ohio. Sean,
Not
that's
Ohio.
a reference you don't understand.
And I never will.
Ooh, Juggalo Ohio, guys. Check it out. Just Google that with Super 8 Hotel.
And while we checked out this week, Season 2, Episode 13 of Lucha Underground, Monster Meets Monster.
Oh my God, and
Yeah.
you better, this is something, I was going to say, oh my God, you better believe Steve Wazowski's there, or whatever his name is.
That's not gonna help me.
From Monsters, Inc., what's that dude? Elliot
Mike
Wazowski?
Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski. I thought it was Mike Sully.
No, it was Sully Sullenberger
Oh, okay.
and Mike Wazowski.
All right.
I don't know if Sully ever had a last name. John Goodman, I know you listen to this podcast. Call us up. Tell us what Sully's last name was and get in this Juggalator.
I realized I forgot to explain this. When you mentioned, I forget that you actually like improv, and that's why you always think I'm making fun of it when I bring it up. I should have said this. My favorite ride within all of Disney World is just an improvised set that is Monster Inc. related. It's just them trying to make laughs because now, hey, laughs are
The new screams. They're more powerful and they clean and they burn cleaner. That movie's so fucking good. God damn it.
it's just crowd work of improvised monsters, and I love it. It's the best thing there. It made getting COVID and i.e. Just aggressive allergies late in my life not worth it.
Yay. Do you think Todd Barry, when Todd Barry was getting ready to release his crowdwork special, just worked a summer as Mike Wazowski in a Disneyland park doing crowd work?
I hope.
Me too.
It also, I mean, wouldn't really work. That's not what this attraction is, but okay.
Wait, I thought you said it was crowd work.
Yeah, it is crowd work, but you're in this auditorium. You're not out and about, and it's people sitting down and you're laughing. So they're like pulling people from the crowd and saying, "Oh, what's your name?" And they say, "My name's Stanley." And they're like, "Stanley? Oh, I bet you have some steamers inside of you."
Well done, local reference.
That if you push it out, we'll need Stanley steamers to clean the carpet, so don't
and
go
so
pooping.
it's just a brand deal with Stanley cleaners, Stanley steamers. Okay, great. This is a brand deal disguised as a comedy show.
They asked me, hey, what's your name? I said, James. And they're like, hey, you got an Uncle Stanley? I said, I have an Uncle Stan Lee. And they're like, Mr. Marvel himself? We're not allowed to say that in this park. Did you know that?
Miss, I didn't. I was unaware. Thank you.
They can't say Marvel in Disney World.
That's wild.
Because of Universal Studios' deal previous to them acquiring Marvel Disney, there's a bunch of clauses that they can't use Avengers people east of the Mississippi.
I'm assuming that east of the Mississippi is, how much of this is a joke? I cannot tell you.
0% of this is a joke.
The east of the Mississippi part is a silly way of phrasing it.
Yeah, but that's true.
Okay. This is not what I should be focused on, but you can't put in a clause in a contract east of the Mississippi, right? Like, if I saw a contract that said east of the Mississippi, I'm like, this is a bad contract and you're a silly lawyer.
I mean, that's how things are determined east and west in the United States a lot.
Oh, yeah, but like that has to be colloquially. That can't be on a contract.
I mean, if they were saying like north and south of a specific line these days, I'd be like, that can't be in a contract.
This can't be in the contracts, you silly lawyers.
No, you, are you from the 1950s, Mr. Lawyer? That's what I would be asking.
We have so many questions, and all of the answers are in our TV sets. Watch Lucha Underground for answers.
Real quick, speaking of TV actings, all of this, I pondered. We were watching some stuff last night, and I said, Nicole, this isn't a question for you. It would be for our friend who has been on screen acting before. So, Sean, this is a serious question.
Okay, you want me to ask Torchy later? Gotcha.
Okay, is the greatest challenge as a screen actor dumping out on screen?
Now, when you say dumping out, what does that mean?
Taking a Stanley steamer.
Okay, just checking. Is the greatest is the greatest challenge as an on-screen actor dumping out? Did you say on set or off?
On screen.
On screen. You think you think we're pooping up there?
Uh-huh. I saw you in the newest Fargo. You were in a unisex bathroom next to Juno Temple. And you you had to poop a lot on set because she kept screaming in a British accent. She's like, "Oh, you fuckers, get out of me." And you can't, you know? She's supposed to be playing English. I mean, American.
And instead she sounds like an ogre living in a swamp destined to marry Princess Fiona.
Uh-huh. Oh my God. Juno and Cameron Diaz just kissing. Oh, yeah. Give me that, Hollywood.
I just want the bird. I really like the scene with the bird explodes, and I want to know more about the bird.
All right. Both of them sing and then destroy Big Bird.
Yes, and then Big Bird has to go for a walk. There's a movie about Big Bird going for a walk. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, there was also going to be a movie of Big Bird exploding in the Challenger.
That's fucked up.
It's true.
It's not about Big Bird exploding in the Challenger.
Yeah, that was filmed, you know, and he was supposed to be on that flight. No joke. There's YouTube videos of this shit, guys. How about you open up your browsers for once?
All right, so we're going to abandon wrestling. I don't think we go back to juggalism. I think we just do a conspiracy theory podcast, but about conspiracies nobody cares about.
I mean, it's not a conspiracy. He was truly supposed to be on that flight.
Yeah, but when people don't believe you, it becomes a conspiracy. And why not?
It becomes them being ignorant and me lording that over them.
All right, well, we have a lot to lord over. We have a lot to fist over as well in this episode of Monster Meets Monsters, Season 2, Episode 13, Lucha Underground. Babies, we're starting off in Dario's office.
With the quickest whiplash of excitement to disappointment ever.
There's a little bit of that at the end of the episode, which we'll get into. It's a shame, but it's exciting. Dario reminds Phoenix that he is lucky to survive his encounter from last week with the monster Matanza. As a reminder, Phoenix got fucking dog walked last week didn't even take Matanza off his feet in that Lucha Underground championship match.
And you don't need to walk your dogs anymore with the new Juggalator, which is also good for dogs. It has a treadmill in there now.
Oh, a treadmill?
Yes.
Very cool. Now, does it play chicken hunting? Because if it doesn't, I will not purchase it.
Oh, you can upgrade for it also to play all the songs we left out of our official True Bizarre playlist.
My favorite album. Phoenix may be the man of endless lives, but Dario has endless opportunities. As we pan out, we realize it's the motherfucking dream team. Phoenix, Drago, Aero Star.
They're gonna be a trios.
Again, yes. And we've talked about this in previous seasons. They are trios outside of the TV show, both in Mexico as well as in America, as these guys were sort of breaking in to the SoCal and the local or the American independent scene. They're amazing, and they're the best. And nunchucks in the bathroom, gang. They're in the office, all three of them. They're talking about the trios tournament. But Dario remembers this legendary trio entered the tournament last season and lost in the first round over Aero Star and Drago's at the time rivalry, which was manufactured by Dario. This dude needs to get in a Juggalator immediately. The Dream Team is denied entry this year. No Dream Team. Instead, Phoenix's partners against the Disciples of Death tonight will be the Darewolf, PJ Black, and the man who invented Lucha Libre, Jack Evans.
Yeah!
Meanwhile, Aero Star and Drago, they're in full gear. They're here to work. So how about we put them in a match against each other for an ancient Aztec medallion and put that on next.
Oh, dang. NXT we switch over to? All right.
Yes.
Katrina's there.
At NXT?
Yeah, she was in NXT.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Hell yeah. We actually cut straight to the match. We get a little bit of desk. We get a little bit of action. We got the second Ancient Aztec Medallion match for Season 2. A reminder that the Ancient Aztec Medallions, all 7, can be collected and then merged and pushed together to form the Gift of the Gods Championship. And with that championship, you can use to claim challengership to the big belt. It's a whole mess of good wrestling.
It's like,
Dragon Ball Z, I guess is the fairest kind of comparison, where you collect all 7 Dragon Balls and then you can make your wish. In this case, the wish is to challenge for the Lucha Underground Championship.
yeah, I was gonna say Exodia from Yu-Gi-Oh, but that actually makes more sense.
Hell yeah. There are so many good things about Lucha Underground that if you are listening and you're not watching the show, we cannot stress enough how friendly it is, not just like to wrestling fans and to not wrestling fans, because truly it is both like Dragon Ball Z and Exodia. And 1,000 other things. This show's so good.
It's also like Frankenhooker, baby.
Now, what the fuck is that? And do we actually have time to get into it?
It's just Frankenstein, but a dude's trying to like rebuild his sexy lady of spouse, I believe. And then he has to he's like, oh, I gotta like make, it's just Frankenstein, but sexy by the dude who did Basket Case.
Nice. Aero Star versus Drago is up next. From friends to rivals to friends again. Commentary kind of goes over that Drago won the best of 5 from last year, but today is today, which is a brand new day. Yes, it is.
Big E ain't here, though.
Aw, he might be. We don't have a camera on every member of the crowd.
Okay.
If they just pan out one day and I just see Big E in the crowd for like no reason, I'm going to be that, oh, my heart. This fucking dragon skull that Drago walks out on today. Oh my God.
It's like Baphomet, baby. He's satanic.
So beautiful. This is the prettiest Satan has ever looked. And chef's kiss.
You don't watch a lot of the stuff I watch, baby.
No one does. It's illegal in most states.
No, it's not.
I know.
It's just in like religious states it would be illegal.
Which is the state of mind I'm always in. Praise be Mike Wachowski. That's right. My religion is Monsters, Inc. Aero Star rushes up Drago up top. We get the Lucha chants after the first stand-up. This match is insane.
Real quick, Boo is your baby Jesus.
Yes, she is. Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. They're showcasing that we've done this before, and this is what we've learned. And it's that second part. I've watched shows and I've been a fan where like you get tired of certain matches just because they would run them back over and over again. Mm-hmm. It's that this is what we've learned part. Like we've been here before and this is what we've learned. It's the and to the yes and if you were going to be improv-y about it, you know? It's so exciting.
I think it's more of the but to the no and no but.
Okay, all right. I think it's more of the but to shitting on set. I didn't have one. I got to be honest, I didn't have one.
I think it's more of the $2,000 to the I paid $2,000 for this.
All right. No. This is getting too real. This is getting too real. Too real, man. Aero Star ends up slipping in a double springboard attempt. Like he's trying to jump from the corner to the outside. It was gonna be amazing if he did not slip and tweak his knee for the rest of the match. And Vampiro takes this as an opportunity to remind us that what sets Lucha Libre apart from all other styles of wrestling is when you're going for the medallion, you gotta be willing to accept the fact that you could die.
Ooh.
And I'm sitting here in my bathrobe with an Oreo hanging out of my mouth being like, I gotta accept that I gotta be willing to die for this podcast tomorrow. And James, please don't kill me. I didn't get that far. I gotta be honest. I'm not quite there yet.
Hey, you, look at this knife I have.
No, geez, I must be ready to die to tell more Juggalator jokes. I will die for the Juggalator. Actually, I will die for the Juggalator. That's true. That's canon.
You'll die for Juggalos, and again, Juggalettes out there, hit my boy up.
Dragos.
I need you to date a Juggalette, okay? That's what I'm saying. Just so
okay.
It's
I
easy
need you to accept.
Entry of we have something to talk about, or someone who's obsessed with Yogi Bear.
Wait, okay, James.
I just want you to date me.
People. Yeah, no, I think you just like I need to date for myself, James. I do need you. So here's where I'm torn: is that I do need to date for myself, right?
Yeah,
it's a very important and personal experience, but I do really like the idea of a girl that's like good enough to bring home to like mom, but instead of mom, it's you and Nicole.
On Goosemas, you know, it has to be someone who wants to get high and then watch season 2 of College University.
We'll talk off air. Drago ends up splitting the line of sportsmanship and he slams Aero's head off the barricade, then slides him into the ring. It's a very aggressive match. Like you can tell that there's respect for each other, but there's no time for respect in this match because both competitors are trying to win.
Did we get to the point where Aero Star has that tumble?
On the outside, yes, we did.
Do you think that was an intentional, in quotes, flubbish, or do you think that was actually a flubbish?
So I remember as soon as I saw it, like looking it up to see like injuries of that year, and it was somewhere else. It was I think it was off an American indie. So there was no injury, and everything else that happened about it, I really do think it was intentional.
Okay, yeah.
Also because the knee becomes a big selling point for the rest of the match, and that's when Aero Star's knee becomes a factor.
Or maybe
but a beautiful intentional flubbish, which is so it justifies a high risk maneuver. Like when you say this maneuver is high risk. If that risk doesn't pay off sometimes, then it's not high risk. It's just exciting to watch. By seeing Aero Star take that tumble, for everyone else on the card tonight, it establishes this is high risk. You gotta be willing to die for a medallion or College University. If you're not willing to die for College University, you don't get to date me, baby. Sorry. Check out my dating profile.
Or maybe they're so quick on their feet, they're able to improvise because they're students of Ian Roberts.
Possibly. Ian Roberts would be a great luchador.
Yeah.
Drago starts throwing bombs at Aero Star, especially with Aero Star on one knee right now. We get this rope hung DDT.
He's proposing?
We get this Dominator power bomb, scores a 2-fall. Visceral double chance. Crowd's hot as fuck. I'm hot as fuck. Everyone is very sexy for this match. Aero Star fights to his feet. He chases Drago, who's hitting the ropes, catches Drago, right as he's hitting the ropes, with a 619 to his lower back, combos that with a springboard codebreaker, follows that up with a celestial body falling to earth. The Aero Star signature springboard splash wins Aero Star the match at 6 minutes and 36 seconds. The second as ancient Aztec medallion goes to Aero Star.
Was not expecting that outcome, but a great match.
So stoked to see it. Very excited to see that.
I bet what happened is Drago kept winning, but Aerostar kept going back in time until he's like, okay, finally, I'm on one that actually I am victorious.
The old Earthbound 3 or Earthbound 1. The old Earthbound. Okay. All right.
You mean Mother 1 or Earthbound?
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah,
okay. Wowzers. I
don't know.
Mother 2, aka Earthbound, or Mother 3.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Great. Yeah. Nice. I agree.
All right. Okay.
I think I meant Mother 2, which is Earthbound, right?
All right. Yeah. Also, do you think Bob Ross's youngest son was actually in attendance, or was it just a bearded man?
We skipped over that. Yeah, at one point. And they do it all the time. I think especially with this celebrity guest, they love to point out the celebrities sitting in the audience for these shows. And they're just like, here's Bob Ross's youngest son. Or to James's point, a bearded young man that you cannot fact check and tell us is not Bob Ross's youngest son. There is no way for you to know for certain, and you never will, whether or not this is Bob Ross's youngest son or a man we found with a beard.
Unless we go to his Instagram and it's just every single day pictures of him at that Lucha Underground event. He's like, it doesn't get better than this. He's kind of like the dude who made Roller Coaster Tycoon. He just, with that money, goes to amusement parks around the world. He's like, hey, with my dad's money, I just keep going to wrestling events.
I just keep following everyone from Lucha Underground who's not signed to TV right now. I just see what shows they're working, and that's where I'm at. Love to see it. We also love to see the Wing Chun dummy corner of the Temple Gym.
Man, the quick punching sound effects in this are so funny.
I love this segment. Let's break it down and then let's talk about it. Johnny is in the gym. He's working out on the Wing Chun dummy when Taya, who is in full Limp Bizkit outfit. I don't know if you caught that. She's got the red ball cap backwards and the black tee, and I'm pretty sure she's full Limp Bizkited it out. It's 2016. I cannot tell you how excited I am to see the Limp Bizkit fit in full effect.
Who's Limp Bizkit?
Wait, no, the hot dog flavored water. Come on, James, don't do this to me.
Oh, from Scooby-Doo? Hot dog water?
Oh my God, I can't right now.
Who's in Limp Bizkit?
Fred Durst, director? Jesus himself.
The director used to be in a band? That's what I was trying to do. I was just trying to get you to be like Fred Durst, and I was just going to say, he was in music before?
This is blasphemous because I'll have you know, I only subscribe to the Church of Limp Bizkit. And I'm turned on by how blasphemous it is, but also I am incredibly offended.
He's all like, bum diggy wada wada bum biggy ding.
Okay, you know what? I'm back on board. Yeah, he is like that, though. Good point.
Wait, I thought that was Kid Rock.
Shit! Fuck Kid Rock. Taya's in full Limp Bizkit outfit.
Kid Rock? You mean the director? Director of my political views?
We have 2 more matches to get through on this.
Keep going.
Okay. Johnny's working on the dummy. Taya comes in. Is it possible he looks even better than he did yesterday? And he's like, damn right it's possible. I'm not just a man. I'm the man. Platonic professional high five. I fucking love these two so goddamn much.
This is how couples should be, just gas each other up nonstop.
Yes. Ty is just coming in from speaking to Dario Cueto on behalf of Johnny. because Johnny did not compete last year for a medallion, and because he's the man, Johnny expects to be handed an ancient Aztec medallion this year. Just handed one. However, he isn't. Instead, next week, he's going to fight the Machine for the third ancient Aztec medallion. And Taya won't be able to interfere because it will be a cage match. Cage in a cage.
Like Speckle and G-Force.
Sure. And then he punches the shit out of this Wing Chun dummy. I haven't seen G-Force. I cannot, I'm sure that was a very good point you made. I'm sorry.
Nicolas Cage voices like a gerbil named Speckle.
Okay, what does that have to do with Cage in a Cage?
It's Cage, and hamsters and gerbils go in cages. He's Cage in a cage.
But it would have to be, the whole point is that it's the name thing. It would have to be Speckle in a Speckle.
Well, he did do like motion capture where he was playing a little guy and he's just in this big cage.
Oh, okay. So just anything in a cage could be this scenario, or Speckle.
Well, it would have to be someone with the name Cage.
Okay. Oh, fuck, his name was Nick Cage. Fuck, you said Nick Cage.
Yeah.
I got so caught up on the name Speckle because it's very fun to say that I forgot there was another name involved.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I think I'm being pretty clear. I guess you're just being a stickler for details right now.
No, I got lost in the kayfabe.
Do you know where this is happening, Sean? This Cage in a Cage match with Mundo?
And the only location the show has, the temple?
No, dude, it's happening in Slamtown, baby.
Yo, that's literally what I wanted. Okay, thank you. So Johnny, something I realized in this segment that is amazing. And of course, Johnny hits Slamtown. He's taken us to Slamtown every week he's on television. Like the funny thing is, like that's his catchphrase he hits every week. But Johnny is a catchphrase machine. The trick when you're watching is that all of his catchphrases are the goofiest catchphrases possible. Mm-hmm. Like nothing is like cool in their traditional cool sense. It's just really goofy and Slamtown based. But I speak for myself. I believe you do too. We fucking love goofy shit like this.
Oh yeah.
This is our bread and butter. The emphasis Lucha Underground places on backstage segments, plus Johnny just being goofy, corny-ass Johnny, it's this beautiful mesh that every now and again you see like performer meeting its medium on the medium's level and the medium suiting the performer to get their shit in so well. Like Johnny is not the only performer to do this, but you see it so well in this segment where it's like, I don't think Johnny could have done this anywhere else. Not like this.
It's very much like when Nick Cage played Speckle in G-Force.
Thank you. Thank you, Nick Cage and Johnny. Yes.
In reference to, hey, is it possible you look better today than you did yesterday? I was going to say that to Nicole, but I was positive the only outcome to that would be her pushing me into a wall.
You guys are cute. I hope you're okay, or else I'm just laughing at Nicole beating the shit out of you.
Just do like a quick
do.
shove, say, shut up.
No.
Get out of here. Are you blind?
You guys are cuties. The Trios Tournament match. This is the final first round qualifier for the Trios Tournament. We will see Jack Evans, PJ Black, and Phoenix versus the Disciples of Death. As a reminder, this is the Disciples of Death, their last shot, because Mil Muertes, quite frankly, is sick of their shit. They lost the Trios titles, they're just a pile of gooners, and Mil's got more important shit to focus on. So if they do not win this Trios tournament, he's done with them, baby.
And they're messing up his hair.
They are messing up his beautiful hair. We've only seen once, but by God, did we ever see it?
Because all that static electricity in the air when they appear.
Okay, yeah.
Because they're covered in lightning bolts, guys.
They are covered in lightning bolts. I had to get a long drink of water. Thank you. Thank you, James.
They won't know that, Sean. I edit this well.
Right. Yes. Phoenix is this Technico out of water, but Vampiro reminds us that Phoenix, the many things I love about Phoenix, and he loves everything about Phoenix, but one of them is how well he can adapt. Whatever the situation is, Phoenix will rise to the top, crop of the cream style, baby.
He fits in anywhere, which means he's perfect for a road trip.
Yeah, or a juggalator.
Ooh.
PJ and s2e13 start off this match. PJ has the Darewolf takes the advantage, fakes a tag to Phoenix, only to tag in Jack, who doesn't tag in himself.
This is perfect comedy.
He goes, I'm managing. No, don't tag me. I'm managing. You're doing so good, bro. I'm so proud of you. PJ is confused. s2e13 escapes, but PJ catches him again. So Jack says, see, believe in yourself. To which PJ says, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, you look great. You're doing good. Or
what's wrong with you? Just tag me in.
One of my favorites was, I'm stretching. I need to warm up.
I don't want to get injured. Big silly little guys alert in this match between PJ and especially Jack Evans. Oh my gosh. PJ makes a pin attempt. Sinestro breaks it up, only for Phoenix to cut off the cutoff. He fits in anywhere. Jack Evans thinks about making a springboard, like he jumps to the top rope and then lands on his feet and says, nah, PJ, you got this. He's always about to do something before he does nothing. Phoenix clears out the Disciples. Crazy tope tornado. Jack's got a stretch to avoid injury, which is that moment you said you enjoyed so much. Yeah, before he finally tags in. He gets real excited. He's yelling at the audience. He's waving his hands wildly. He's setting up for this big nothing because instead, Sinestro takes both of Jack's legs and wishbones him into the corner post balls first.
Ooh.
And he's kind of hurt. He's just going, tag me out. Get me out of here. It's more that he's trapped right now he's trapped by the balls. Mm-hmm. So he has to immediately tag back out to PJ, who's the only one in the corner at the time.
Also, I'm pretty sure it's anus first because here Jack Evans has a long prolapsed one.
He has a long anus, period, prolapsed or otherwise.
And not because of some weird thing he did. He was born that way, okay?
Yeah. Baby, he was born this way.
Man, it was so easy for him to, like, slide by shit in Chavo's bag. He could do it from around the corner.
Oh, my God. He has... There's no way I can convey the image of my head to this long, elaborate, almost like the board game Mousetrap type of system that Jack would have needed to make his prolapsed anus out of to properly shit in Chavo's bag from around the corner.
Well, no, it's just like a long tube, like a hose, and you can like put it around.
More to it. No, we can get a whole little man diving into the bathtub and the marble that goes down the stairs, and we got. Listen, James, for season 3, I suggest we blow the entire budget on recreating the Rube Goldberg prolapsed anus machine.
I'm down for it.
Let's go. All 3 disciples are working over PJ. PJ, who's been in this match pretty much the entire time. Mm-hmm. It's 3-on-1. Really, 4-on-1 with Katrina. And really, 5-on-1 if you count The Rock. Commentary brings this up. James, are we counting The Rock?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a goddamn dominating force in the industry. I want to see Young Rock, not that Young Rock. Do. I want to see Young Rock.
Wait, now I don't know what you mean. Do you mean the TV show, or do you want to see Rocky Maivia?
I want to see The Rock young. How did he get these magical powers?
The show should be called Young The Rock, because of course, what commentary and me and James are referring to is the rock in Katrina's hands, which she wields for magical effect.
Yeah.
That's the young Rock we want to see, still being choreographed by Chavo Guerrero. Mm-hmm. He's still stunt coordinator.
I want to see that famous day in this Rock's young life when he was being babysat by Andre the Giant.
But instead of Andre the Giant, because it's this Rock, it's who's your favorite Survivor cast member?
All of them.
All of them. It's all of the survivors and Mark Burnett, who is still, if you have forgotten, The guy who created Survivor also created this show.
Yeah.
It's so, I love television.
I
love
think
television.
Created.
He maybe not created, but he was a big part in kind of getting it together, I think.
He EP'd it.
He EP'd it, yeah. Phoenix eventually catches this hot tag and is Animo all over the fucking ring. Oh my gosh. Phoenix is amazing. Matt ponders Phoenix's connection to Katrina until Dario throws a super kick that Phoenix uses Ragdoll Phoenix to sell for. Oh my god, this super kick. It's bizarre. Oh. Eventually, Phoenix has to scratch and claw, but he gets to the corner and he makes a tag to PJ. Except no, he doesn't, because Jack intercepts the tag and is now finally ready to start wrestling. And he's really good at it. He's a silly little guy who's also really good at shit. The springboard tornado kick, he's throwing these like Pele kicks. Jack Evans is crazy. Yeah, he's amazing until he distracts himself with his own shit talk. And Phoenix has to tag in to save the day. Phoenix and Dario go back and forth. Showtime Palm, Frankensteiner combo, PJ springboard 450. We get a tight 2 count. Eventually, shit goes so crazy. PJ Black, the Darewolf himself, is doing a tope over the top rope, flying to the outside, and Phoenix, as PJ is midair over the top rope, tags himself in. And that's how we get to the finish of this match. Springboard 450 while Jack is hitting another tope. Phoenix picks up the pinfall to upset defeat. I'll call it an upset defeat. This is an established trio.
Yeah.
But they pick up the win over the Disciples and Katrina, the old ex-girlfriend, 9 minutes and 9 seconds.
It was so good. Unexpected. What are one of the Disciples' names?
It's Sinestro, Barrio Negro, and Trece.
So Sinestro, let's just say it's him. I don't know which one of them. Sinestro, like Phoenix, can fit in anywhere. Sinestro's fingers can fit in anywhere. You know, like a mousetrap, my pussy, but also Phoenix's mouth. Because there's a scene where one of them just like an alligator, hooks 4 fingers into Phoenix's mouth and like holds his head up while they're like grabbing him on the ground. It was gross.
I missed that. Fish hooks are gross. Yeah. Hey, keep your fingers to yourselves if you're out there. And keep your odd throuple the trio's champions, because we have a segment with the odd throuple coming up next. We're in Dario's office. They're here. Dario's taking them down memory lane as we wrap up the tournament this year. Though, yeah.
This is what we should call this trio of the Darewolf, Jack Evans, and Phoenix. It is the Wolves of 1,000 Evans.
Yeah, you know what? I don't hate that. I don't hate that so much. I think I like it. The Wolves of 1,000 Evans picks up the victory here tonight, as the odd throuple are taken down memory lane by Dario in Dario's office. That's right, the pervert pretty boy and the 2 exes themselves. Dario's here to praise them coming together, but also to inform the champions that they will not be defending the titles after the tournament. They will be defending the titles in the tournament.
No.
As in, the winner of the tournament will be the trio's champions. But Dario, if anything, is a fair man. He's not, but that's fine.
Yeah, he is.
I feel like he's the kind of guy that will set you up to fail and then tell you, "Hey, I was fair about it." And it's like you were just fair enough to have plausible deniability, but you also clearly didn't want to help me. You know what I mean?
I guess.
So he's going to give the current champs a bye to the finals, which will be next week. Another is a trios fatal 4-way elimination match. The winner to be trios champion.
So this will be 4 teams all at once?
Which I think is what it was last year, too.
Okay. Wow, that's going to be... This show just keeps going. I like it.
It's real fucking good. We cut to the locker room. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. James, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. We cut to another locker room. Lightning summons the Disciples of Death, the trio who has just failed Mill and the last chance Mill gave them for redemption. Katrina and The Rock, they're both sick of it. And even worse, to Phoenix, Katrina's ex-boyfriend, he doesn't even talk to The Rock anymore. He's very rude.
Katrina got all the friends in the breakup.
Especially The Rock.
Uh-huh.
She demands a reason not to destroy them right here, right now. So Sinestro, casual as hell, rips the blackened and beating heart of Trece out of his chest as it goop and sloops to the floor. And she says, "Was that it?" So Sinestro does the same with Barrio's fucking heart. He just ripped his own partner's hearts out of their fucking chest. And they didn't look right. That's not how hearts are supposed to look.
He's double fisting blood pumpers.
He is double fisting blood pumpers. Lucha, lucha, lucha. I fucking love this show so goddamn much. This is wrestling. This is the best wrestling in the world. And I get on board or fuck off. I don't know what you want me to say here.
Okay, if this is the greatest thing you've ever seen ever, you clearly haven't seen Nicole shove me in a wall after I compliment her.
That's so sad, James.
This is not really happening, just so everyone knows. No. This is a bit, unlike the Juggalator.
Which is real, and unlike my appreciation for it, maybe it's because you don't get like segments like this that are so bonkers, so off the wall, but so justified in the world being built around it. Like, it makes total sense that, like, yes, the Disciples of Death, it's a business move, right? If a branch isn't making a lot of money, you might consolidate and merge a bunch of branches together. And that's what the Disciples of Death did, but with, necromancy and lich magic. It's so fucked up, but it makes so much sense. And again, based on like how this temple is presented and how they build this world, makes it's so goofy, but in a very justified way, which feels very satisfying.
We will eventually have to consolidate some of the podcasts. So someday, I think soon, Hit It and Crit It and Sweaty Time will be mashed together. And we're just going to be doing wrestling tabletop RPG.
Okay. And we're going to call it Hit It and Sweat It.
We could still just call it Hit It and Crit It because, we're still critting on stuff. And maybe creatine. That could be the crit.
Hell yeah. Let's get some kratom and talk about this main event.
Okay, different thing. Creatine and kratom are completely different.
Huh?
I think I hope you work at probably a store that sells kratom.
Huh? The Lucha Underground Championship is on the line. They'll never know. They'll never know if I know or not. Mil Muertes with Katrina, with The Rock, versus the Monster Matanza with Dario Cueto. The champion, the Monster Matanza with Dario Cueto. Just on entrances, it is so wild to watch Mil's entrance as not just the challenger, but the underdog. Like, Mil is still big and a big fucking deal, but there is so much momentum on the side of Matanza right now. And Matanza is so fresh compared to Mil, who who had his arm broken by Penta not that long ago. That if it were me, I would put Mil as a slight underdog going into this match.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought too. But he comes out swinging. I do have one quick theory.
Oh, okay.
Dario saying stuff like our souls are linked or whatever, something like that for the family, and. Dario has, now that we look at it, it's usually he seems like, he's on a coke bender. So he has these mood swings of, I'm this snively little weasel, or like, hey, I am ready to murder. Is Dario's dad's soul inside Dario?
That's an interesting question. Shoot, I don't know if his soul is inside Dario. I feel like he does, or is inside. I feel like he does have access to his soul. Like he might have it, like it might be in a jar somewhere. You know what I mean? It might be in the bowl. Probably not the bowl.
Or
I think
it could be what that key's all about. Kingdom Hearts style. You unlock someone's heart.
There is so much. If you walk away, you won't hear me say please or ooh baby. That I can't wait to get into the key. Let's get into the match. Because yeah, a lot happened lore wise. This might be the most lore heavy match we've covered. Dario warns Matanza per Vampiro, because it is in Spanish, that if he doesn't finish off Mil, it's over because they are connected spiritually. And as you alluded to before, like we don't really know even Vampiro's like, I don't know what that's about. But that's what he said. They square off. It's big, meaty men slapping meat immediately. Mil does take the advantage as Dario like begs Matanza for the family. Like it's not. We talk about there being two sides of Dario, this Weasley little conniving sort, and then this over like violent, bloodthirsty. This is a third side, which is like scared little boy. Really, like this is not the Dario we've seen at all before this. This is a scared little boy watching Mil Muertes beat the shit out of his brother. It's oh my gosh, that was.
Maybe he's saying for the family. I'm surprised Vampiro's not clued in. Are they down with the clown?
Are they homies?
If so, I have something to sell both of them.
Stop. We can't. We're almost there. We're almost through. We almost got there. Then we can sell the Juggalator to our heart's content. It's a little back and forth of mostly Mil. Matanza creates some distance. Is one of the few people in the temple who is able to take Mil off of his feet with a clothesline. It's so wild to see Mil also like really doing babyface stuff here. He lands 10 clotheslines in the corner. Eventually, Matanza survives for a triple gut wrench suplex, which is still insane that he's doing triple these gut wrench suplexes where he holds on as he delivers another suplex. Mil escapes on the third, dumps Matanza on the outside. Mil hits a tope suicida, which is he's so big, and to see him fly so gracefully. It's mesmerizing.
It's why he was my favorite season 1. And Matt Stryker screams about Matanza when he's thrown over onto the floor. He screams, he may have a broken leg, which in no other line of work would your coworker ever have that reaction of both excited, but also like, maybe we need to stop, but more so I'm excited that you may have a broken leg. Like that's HR. If you went to the smoke shop and you like did a tumble and someone just screamed, he may have a broken leg, you'd be like, no, I need help.
Well, that's the problem when your HR department is Katrina's Rock.
Oh yeah.
Love the Rock with all my heart. Not an HR guy.
No.
You need a specialist. You need to hire someone with experience. The fight's on the outside. Dario at one point, so Mil's on top of Matanza. He's beating the shit out of him. Dario kind of tries to get him off by slapping him in the back. And you just hear one guy in the front row, what the fuck? and Mil starts to stand up and he picks up Dario by the neck. And it gives Matanza just enough time to recover and to beat and to like fight back and save his brother. Mil ends up grabbing, it's like a gasoline can. He starts battering Matanza up the steps until Matanza takes the can and starts battering Mil the rest of the way up the steps of the temple. So they're fighting through the arena. They eventually fight their way onto Dario's office. The same office that Angelico did that beautiful dive off of. Ooh. Same office Cage ended up doing the curb stomp through to Mac 2. So it's a legendary office roof we're on right now.
And Mil Babe Ruths it. He points out to just nowhere, just ground in the air, implying
void.
Like, I'm going to throw you just onto this slightly padded ground one story below us.
Yeah, they're straight up. I forget who said. I think it's Matt who's like, I'm afraid someone is going to die. And then a second later is not afraid at all and is just excited for someone possibly dying.
Someone could have a broken leg.
Or even worse, they might break their leg. Like I say, it's not Matt. That was Vampiro who's afraid someone's going to die.
Vampiro also, real quick earlier, when they were on the outside of the ring, they go to the announce table to like slam someone through. And Vampiro just goes, no, because I think he's just annoyed with the announce table being broken like the last 5 weeks.
He needs somewhere to put his Pepsi.
Uh-huh.
All he wants is somewhere to put his Pepsi, and they won't give it to him. All he wants is somewhere to put a Pepsi, and Mill and Matanza just wouldn't give it to him.
He's like, no, there's 2 mannequins underneath the table on my side.
It's like Police Academy, but they're mannequins.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Matanza has one foot hanging off the roof. This is when we cut to Dario's face. And this is when, like, he's been doing it all match, but especially this shot of Dario watching his brother dangle off the roof by 1 foot. This is where you really see that childlikeness, which we've never seen from Dario before. It's almost scary to see him this frightened. Matanza eventually fights Mill off, only for Mill to catch him in a flatliner through the roof to Dario's office. He is flatlinered through the fucking office. Giant hole. This is a no contest at 7 minutes and 1 second. But fucking great if you're gonna do a no contest, a smoking hole in the office is the way to do it.
It didn't hit as hard for me because I could see where the drywall was. I was like, oh, someone's going through the office roof. But it's still cool.
I miss it, so it got there for me. And what I like even more is actually the post-match stuff. So Dario, on his hands and knees, he followed them all the way up. He was there. So he's on his hands and knees on the top of his office, looking into the hole. And then he looks down at Katrina. And all of a sudden, that scared little boy dissipates in a moment. He is Dario, the coked out, blood-fueled rage machine. He finds his feet, the entire time staring at Katrina, lifts his key to the sky and then forward towards Katrina, and not even screams, squeals. Gara, 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 war, war, war at Katrina. And Katrina's response? She maintains eye contact, doesn't say a word, and raises her rock, pointing at Dario. Just like he's raising his key, she raises the rock. And it's just fucking screaming, war, war, war. And we get the end credits. And then we go to the post-credits scene at the detective's office. And I don't care about cop shit right now. Like, this show is amazing. So when I criticize, this is my opinion, take it for what it's worth. But you cannot follow that with cop shit. I don't care.
Yes and no. If it were just more, who's missing? Whoa, Hernandez went missing canonically? Okay, I guess. But because it's potentially saying Dario is paying off the government to be able to do this around town, that's furthering more mystical bullshit.
Kind of, though I think we kind of already established that. Well, let's get into it. As we're cutting into Captain Vasquez's office, she is the boss of the cops. We get the bail deceased poster. We love that continuity. Missing poster for a bunch of people who didn't sign a season 2 contract. To be fair, one of them was because dragons are real, and that's a lot to deal with in the workplace. So Hernandez, we don't blame you.
He kept going to The Rock, and The Rock kept saying, I don't know what to do about it.
I'm just a rock, but I should not be in charge of HR. We meet a new character. I think that's the biggest thing here is Councilman Delgado comes in. And his new jurisdiction is Boyle Heights, and his employer would like Captain Vasquez to drop this case against Dario Cueto. But Marie doesn't give a shit about the mayor. Unfortunately, the mayor is not Councilman Delgado's employer. Someone much more powerful. I don't think it's Dario, because I think if it was Dario, it would be a lot more clearer here. I think we're supposed to think it's Dario, but the fact that it is so vague at this point, it has to be someone else.
I think I know who it is. Like, who in the temple needs everyone gone and no real jurisdiction being slammed on them?
The Rock.
No, Rick fucking Knox.
The referee?
Yeah.
Why is Rick Knox trying to... Why?
It's a good job.
It's a great job, and it would be even better if there weren't all these annoying wrestlers hanging around trying to get me injured.
Yeah, if all of a sudden every single movie from the 90s that's directed towards kids, if some big guy was trying to come in and say, hey, Chicago comics, we're going to turn you into condos, I'd be like, no, we're putting on a dance contest to raise the money.
Hell yeah. You know what? Okay, I like this. Rick Knox is paying off Councilman Delgado to let Dario do what Dario's trying to do, which is turn all of the local professional wrestlers into condos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's fine. It gives us a new character. It establishes that there is more than just magic happening here. There's also money. You know, there's also politics going into it.
Yeah.
It's just not as powerful as Dario and Katrina, as Dario screaming at Katrina, war, war, war. Mm-hmm. And that's, I guess, why it's after the credits. But it's weird because it's also just enough lore and like story progression that like you do want people to know that that's happening. But like it can't be the close of your show. It has to be like a post-credits thing.
It's the whole marvelization of film.
I just want to watch Dario screaming war, war, war at Katrina while standing over the corpse of his recently deceased brother who just has been flatlined through his own roof.
So I want to talk real quick and then we'll close up shop. This is slightly related. I was on Cage Match and I guess referees can be like graded. Like they all have ratings. And it was either Marty Elias or Rick Knox. Are both of them in AEW now?
I don't think Marty is. I think just Rick.
Okay, so it must have been Rick Knox. You know how I'm hypercritical of referee styles, or not even styles, just like how a lot of like, oh, I didn't notice this DQable thing because I'm looking the other way. I know that's because someone else is telling them to pull matches that way. Of like, that's how the story goes. There are people who actually think that is on the ref because these stupid people on Cage Match are like, oh man, like also all of Rick Knox's pre-AEW matches are like, oh, he's 10 out of 10. He's 10 out of 10. That's all the ratings are. Maybe some 9 out of 10s. But then once he gets into AEW, it's just people nitpicking. Like every single match is just like it either goes to DQ or like it should have went to DQ. And I'm like, wow, the character I play on this podcast are real people.
And the gross thing is, I think there are some of them who are actually the character you play, but in real life. I think a lot of it too is that Rick Knox is tied to the Young Bucks because he's so tied to the SoCal scene. Mm-hmm. And people get very tribalistic about AEW, WWE. We're not going to, there is a fascinatingly brutal 67-page lawsuit going on against Vince McMahon right now. It's hard to read, but it's fascinating to read.
I thought you were just going to say, like, Cage Match has already discussed this in a one-page announcement saying, hey, if you're talking trash about AEW on or saying AEW's better on just any WWE match and vice versa, you're banned forever.
Which is what I'm kind of getting to, though. Like, that story broke, and people had to, like, certain, like, news outlets and wrestling journalists had to go out of their way to say, and by the way, if you make this an AEW, WWE thing, what the fuck is wrong with you? Mm-hmm. I think people do that a lot. And it's, like, and it's weird. And also, because even, they also don't stop to think that the referees themselves are characters, and you kind of want them to be.
Yeah.
You want Rick Knox, who at this point is older in his career, who like in the YouTube series and stuff, there is like a little bit of backstory that he is the Young Bucks' friend. So he is a lot more lenient to the Young Bucks in matches. Like all that stuff they're complaining about, like that is built in.
Yeah.
Why did Knox call the DQ? Because he's kind of an old school guy that just wants to see two people beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Like that is his style. Where like Aubrey Edwards is a little more strict. She's not quite as lenient on that stuff.
Oh, I'd be the strictest referee possible. People would give me zeros because of that.
Yeah, well, that's because you're counting double hand style too. That's like that. I wanted to give him a 0, but then he counted like Donkey Kong and Super Smash Brothers. And how do I give that anything but a 10?
Mm-hmm.
And how do we give you, our dear listeners, anything but our eternal gratitude and these beloved plugs of where you can check out the cool shit we're doing? Make sure you hit over at twitch.tv/Goose Von Kaiser, where you can watch me dick around. We also play video games, but it's a hefty amount of dicking around.
Ooh. Hey guys, the 200th episode of Mostly Speaking Sentai proper episodes. We technically have like 240, whatever. But the proper 240 the proper 200 of Mostly Speaking Sentai is out this Thursday. But guess who also has a 200th episode out on Thursday?
Who the fuck is that?
The Rom Complex, which they are celebrating their 200th episode by streaming for, I think, like 10 hours over on twitch.tv/R2Shelby2. Please be a part of that. They are trying to gain more patrons for their Patreon, because that directly benefits me, guys, because if they have more patrons, they can have me edit more episodes. So every time they get a new patron on stream, I'm doing the hot ones last dab hot sauce. So please be a part of that. I think I'm still doing that. So
I think so.
Yeah, that's Thursday, February 1st. It's going to be a good time. But
rom-coms are just wrestling with a little bit more smooching. A little bit more smooching. There you go.
So guys, check that out, and check out all my music under Marshland Monster. Goods on Display with Dragon Boy Suede is coming out the last Friday of February, I believe. So check that out. And
which James gave me a little preview of, and just real quick, oh my gosh, Goods on Display is such a fucking earworm. Get it, you beautiful fucks.
And R2Shelby2 makes an appearance on it.
True.
And head over to patreon.com/MLMpod, where for $5 a month, you get exclusive content every single Friday. Yay. This Friday is either... I think it's This Existed. Yeah, because I'm recording 2 episodes on that day. But yeah, guys, check that out. If it is This Existed, we're discussing Voyage of the Rock Aliens, a musical about rock and roll aliens. Yay.
Let's go.
And if you're a $10 patron, you get all of that plus monthly bonus exclusive content, as well as your name read on every single free feed podcast. So let's begin with those, starting with Steve F., Eric Berry of Ranger Command Power Hour, Alex Z. the Waz, Orion, Jordan B. the Chaos Witch, my Bickle brother in common law, Joshua, Jake, Steve Barnes, a sweet child of time and of Intro Void, my mother, Lil Corey's BFF and now former roommate Shane, that fed, twitch.tv/Core Winning. He came over yesterday and we hung out. It's Corwin. And of Formulaic, a podcast and script writing in the aforementioned The Rom Complex. It's twitch.tv/R2Shelby2.
Oh, yeah. My name's Sean.
I'm James.
And this has been Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling, Purple Prancer forever.
Bye-bye. Oh, yeah.